What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Cryptyk TV. Going to jump into another Diablo 4 video here today. So there's a big developer update, about an hour-long video a few days ago. I'm going to be jumping into some of these highlights. This one specifically is about Strongholds, which are kind of a new open world piece within the game. So big enemy territories that you can clear out, turn them into small towns and places to interact. I don't know what the PvP or at least multiplayer implications are going to be, but pretty excited, super excited for Diablo 4 overall, hoping it lives up to the hype and can bring Diablo back to some of its glory. But yeah, gonna kind of give you guys my thoughts on this video. If you're enjoying any of the content, please like and subscribe, and let's go.
Strongholds themselves is a brand new feature within Diablo 4.
Yeah, absolutely. So conceptually, Strongholds, they are places of importance to the world and the people of Sanctuary that have been overrun by evil. Pretty simple, right? So the way this ends up working in practice is as you're exploring and navigating the huge world of Diablo 4 in Sanctuary, there will be multiple strongholds in each of our 5 zones for you to discover. And these are completely unique. So each stronghold is a unique location. They have different stories. They have different gameplay objectives, bosses. Even some of the rewards are unique to each specific stronghold.
So I hope this lives up to as unique as he's making it say. So I'm excited and I'm optimistic, but I'm a little wary because usually when you get pieces of a game like this, we've got like kind of a specific mechanic. I'll clear this out and you turn it into a good place or something. Because the goal behind it is so similar for all of the strongholds, you've got to do a lot to diversify and make them feel unique and have that be successful. And a lot of times you'll feel like some recycled pieces outside of just the fact that you're trying to accomplish the same goal at everyone. But again, cautiously optimistic.
So much like our campaign, these are private experiences. They're just for you or you and your party if you choose to bring some friends.
Okay, so no open world, no open world multiplayer aspect.
Becomes something that we refer to as a public space, where you then might encounter and interact with other players if you want.
Okay, never mind.
So, like, what type of space?
So it sounds like when it's a bad guy place, you and your party can interact with it. Once it's opened up, you get that kind of open world multiplayer hub, which is kind of cool.
Can strongholds themselves end up kind of like changing to after you end up encountering them and maybe like conquering them or going through them yourself?
Yeah, so that's like actually one of the things that I'm most excited to talk about the system is that when you conquer a stronghold, there's a lasting impact on the world, and we actually unlock a bunch of additional content for you to explore and engage with after the fact.
New quests and
stuff.
stuff.
We'll talk about that a little bit later.
All right. I think we have footage as well for the strongholds that we can actually like kind of throw up here, and maybe we can explain like what players are
in development
kind of
content,
or,
not
like,
final.
Experience when they're going through strongholds.
You brought a clip?
Looks like a
Yeah,
barbarian.
I found a clip on the floor.
Found a clip.
Looks great.
The stronghold you're looking at here, this is called Hope's Light. In the jagged shores of northern Scotland, there's this great lighthouse called Hope's Light, and its flame has been extinguished. The port town of Merwin nearby is particularly affected. It's the only port town in all of Scotland. They consider this a sacred place, and obviously the sailors of these perilous waters, they kind of rely on the lighthouse to navigate. So your kind of high-level objective is just to find a path through to the lighthouse and figure out what happened. As the player, when you arrive there, you notice the drowned have risen.
I like these dudes. I think they're all called the Drown. That's kind of like the type of monster. But these big dudes are very cool. Very like Bioshocky almost. Like, I don't know. It's a cool concept. I remember when they showcased them earlier. Without showing them in the environment, I was like, oh, these guys look like they're carrying like a mast of like a ship, and they're probably from a water area. So we were right about that, which is cool. I'm going to try not to comment too much on the combat and visualization of the barb here and focus on the stronghold, but looks good. I like seeing blood in Diablo. That's always a good thing.
The Drowned are this brand new monster family in Diablo 4. They're these super mysterious creatures that kind of shamble up onto the shores from the depths of the sea. And they drag these like bells and mysterious idols with them. Nobody really knows like who they are or what they want. But one of the other things that we're super excited to kind of do with Strongholds is to try and showcase these monster families, kind of give you a glimpse into what they're about.
I wonder if
'cause
we'll
I
get
know,
lore
like,
into more of the monster
back
families.
during BlizzCon, we actually, BlizzCon 2019, when we revealed Diablo 4, we actually did showcase the Drown for the first time. And then since then, I know we had a quarterly update blog that talked a little bit about monster families, where we even talked about like familiars, for instance, and so forth that were up there. But like, yeah, this is kind of like the first like updated look at.
Yeah, so while they're talking about monster families, like I hope we get some more lore to them, like that you get to experience in game. So like you see it a lot. I'll go back to Diablo 2 again because I played a lot more of that, but like the Fallen in Act 1, right? And then like some of the little tiki children dudes in Act 3 and some of the bugs in Act 2. Like there's a very consistent theme to the main monsters in a lot of the acts, but like we don't know, and maybe there's deeper lore outside of the game, but from the game itself we don't know a lot about them and their story. And I feel like this could be a good opportunity in like some side quests, some good ability to really be able to jump into some lore and really expand the breadth and kind of depth of Sanctuary.
I think people are seeing of the Drowned here in a Stronghold, which is really cool to see.
Oh, legendary.
Yeah.
I knew what it was because I was playing with the UI off. So. But actually,
I like the item animations. I mean, they're cool.
Going back to kind of Strongholds at the system level, and kind of like why you, the player, might care. So Strongholds, they provide you with a lot of really awesome rewards. Obviously, you slay a bunch of monsters, you kill a boss, you're going to get a bunch of XP and loot. Beyond that, Strongholds also reward you with a high amount of renown. Renown is another new system.
It's like a reputation system.
4. And just to quickly summarize that, Renown, it rewards you with engaging with various open world activities. You gain Renown in each of the 5 regions of the game. And when you hit certain milestones of Renown, you'll get rewards. You'll get really cool
It's a
stuff
reputation
like,
system.
additional potion charges, skill points, even Paragon points at the later milestones. So yeah, but beyond all this, like strictly, gold, XP, loot, Renown, beyond all this strictly character progression stuff, I mentioned before, conquering a stronghold has a lasting impact on the world and unlocks a bunch of additional content. So when you've completed a stronghold, and in some cases you've kind of cleansed the evil as much as it can be in a world like Sanctuary, people feel safe enough to come back, and so some strongholds will actually become towns after they'll have vendors.
The art direction's super sweet. Like this big ship, like
Other,
everything looks
strongholds
amazing.
Might unlock a shortcut path to a different area, a waypoint, side quests. Many strongholds actually unlock dungeons. So if you are hunting for aspects in the Codex of Power, or you're engaging with the Whispers of the Dead or Nightmare Dungeons endgame systems, you're probably really going to want to discover all these.
That's all.
All right, so before they go any further, I like what I'm hearing. So, I used to play a lot of World of Warcraft, and as the game progressed past like Mists of Pandaria, so the 4th expansion. Yeah, 4th expansion. For those of you that don't play or haven't played World of Warcraft, the amount of systems in the game just kept mounting to where it was super overwhelming whenever I tried to get back into that game, and it was kind of a turnoff. And it's because the systems were so like in your face and almost required and like an integral part of the game that like had their own reward systems or gameplay implications that weren't just like pure gameplay. And what I mean by that, in contrast, it sounds like these strongholds are something where it's like, yeah, you clear it out and you get a town, or you get a new dungeon, or maybe you get some new side quests. Like the implication to completing them is just you unlock more game, right? And some different game, like some different gameplay, but you're not like, you don't have intrinsically different systems and like abilities and like unique, how do I say this? You don't have like, they're not like siloed into these own like bits of the game that you do the system for. So it's really just, you know, the system of Strongholds themselves are unique, but then they just unlock more of the world. And it's like kind of perfectly simplistic because you're not having to track all these different systems and objectives. It's just if you come across a stronghold, you can clear it out and you can go explore more of the world of Sanctuary, right? It's not like something that's always nagging that you have to go do for some odd reason. So I'm excited for it.
Awesome. So yeah, like just like the last stream we had, we talked a little bit about the Codex of Power. So and you know, obviously going through dungeons ends up unlocking or finding new codexes. So yeah, actually completing Strongholds will unlock new dungeons that will let you get more codex or more powers within your codex itself. So it kind of like opens up more and more, especially with Strongholds itself. That's awesome. And the fact that it's a lasting impact on the world is pretty crazy. Can you see Strongholds like on the map, like as you're kind of like traversing through Sanctuary? And
yeah, absolutely. Just so like any other area of the game, you know, it starts as kind of undiscovered space, and then once you've discovered it, they show up on the map. They have some iconography to let you know that, hey, there's a cool piece of content for you to go do here.
Nice. And players themselves will see tons of these all throughout, all of, like as Sanctuary that they can actually either maybe like do a little bit later or come back to and so forth from that side.
Yeah, absolutely. There, like I said, there's multiple strongholds in every region. And,
I wonder how many there are.
So
They say multiple, but I'm curious.
Like a minimum level, so you might actually, you know, discover one that you're just under leveled for. There's nothing stopping you from trying to take it on, but you're probably gonna die.
Unless you're playing hardcore, and then you probably don't.
Then you make a new character.
I wonder if the stronghold levels are like directly attributed to the level of the zone you're in, or like, you know, the progression of the zone you're in. It is kind of cool when you're like a lower level character. So I've always enjoyed this about RPG games. When you're a lower level character and you run across some content or like some cool boss in a game. So like if you're in a low level zone, but they just randomly have some like crazy unique monster that's just like a badass rolling through, and you go up and you're like, I'm going to go hit this guy, and he just absolutely wrecks you. Like seeing content that you can progress to in the future, and like especially when it's like a really, you know, cool visually or mechanically, it makes you excited to keep playing the game and keep wanting to go further. So I kind of hope they mix up the levels, but we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. That's when you question it a little bit. Yeah. So, and that's another question we get a lot is like, is hardcore going to be in Diablo 4? And yes, it will be. So that's when you would question the idea of trying to conquer a stronghold at a lower level. So
I've played hardcore in Diablo 2, but
and
I always have such a hard time committing to that.
Brand
and
new
then
feature for Diablo 4
it hurts so
itself.
bad.
So it actually allows
when you die
to essentially just continue to add additional content to the game and change the world completely, because the fact that you can actually get new waypoints or you know, a whole new town that you can actually interact with new, you know, vendors and so forth from that side is also just.
So you just made me think of a better way, a more concise way to explain what I was explaining earlier. So interacting with these strongholds has implications in the world and opens up the world to you. And the rewards that are system-based are just rewards within the systems that you're already interacting with, like talent points or, you know, potions of some sort, like something you're already used to. The system rewards are not intrinsic to the stronghold themselves. You're not getting unique systems that you need to interact with and remember a million different ones. So I like that.
Completely like game-changing from that point.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of the new content that you unlock, it is also kind of like part of the renown system. So you complete a stronghold, and you get you know, side quests and dungeons, and all these things also feed into the renown system. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. Kind of completing a stronghold is kind of like only half of the feature, right?
Yeah.
And the other half is all the additional stuff that gets unlocked afterwards.
That's very cool. Yeah, Strongholds is sounding awesome. I know, like, myself, I mean, I played the game. People will be able to play it really soon. But the perks of working at Blizzard.
You heard it here first. We play the game.
We play the game. The perks of working at Blizzard. But yeah, it most definitely is a cool feature, and I had Strongholds completely change like the whole entire map, and just having like even a waypoint closer to wherever you need to go for a dungeon is also really great to have.
Additional waypoints is really nice.
Course, and Art provided here this footage here of
that you gotta work for it a little bit. That's cool.
He's got like some legendary type of gear and like some unique skills and so forth that are like kind of modified based off the gear. So trying to show off a little bit of a higher level barbarian for people because the barb's just a ton of fun to play.
Yeah, super fun.
Cool. Well, I know that we kind of went over a little bit about armor systems and the strongholds themselves. We do
probably check that video out later.
From the last stream is like people were hoping that we.
All right, looks like the video is going to end mid-sentence because this was just part of the developer update. But yeah, this seems super cool. Strongholds are something that was kind of touted from the beginning of revealing Diablo 4 as like a cool new system. Yeah, really excited about it. I like any encounters open in the open world. Anything where it doesn't feel like you're removing yourself from the adventure you're on to go interact with a system, I think is always super fun. And a system that, again, just kind of belongs in the world and rewards you with things in the world, I think is going to kind of keep you in the game, right? It's going to keep you engaged and just kind of keep you right where you're at and in the world and not be too jarring. So from a gameplay perspective, it's cool. From an exploration and just lore perspective, I think they've got some cool opportunities from exploring some of these monster families. I think it'd be pretty cool. So yeah, I'm excited. Let me know what you guys think. Are you excited about Diablo 4? You think Strongholds look like they're going to be a good mechanic? Are you cautiously optimistic about the game like me? I'm excited. I'm not going to say I'm not excited, but cautiously optimistic with the way Blizzard's kind of been going the last handful of years. But visually, it looks awesome. Tonally, it sounds like Diablo 2 again, which I love. But time will tell in only a few months. You might see me on the beta and stream. If you're not following me on Twitch, you can find me at Cryptyk27. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, share it around. We'll have more to come. Thanks.